"Power is the ultimate aphrodisiac," said Henry Kissinger. This quote encapsulates the seductive essence of power that has driven men and women throughout history to rise above the ordinary. The quest for power is a fundamental human drive, akin to the need for survival and love. It shapes the framework of political and personal interactions, influencing everything from grand historical events to everyday social dynamics. The 48 Laws of Power, a modern classic by Robert Greene, serves as a manual for those who wish to understand the intricacies of manipulative dynamics. Each law, backed by historical anecdotes, offers a lesson on the acquisition, maintenance, and consolidation of power. Through this essay, we will explore the essence of each law, illuminated by the most striking historical examples. Understanding these laws is not just about gaining power, but also about protecting oneself from being manipulated. It's a dance of strategy and foresight, played on the chessboard of human interactions, where every move counts. Let's delve into the laws that have shaped empires, toppled kings, and made and broken fortunes. Section 2. Law 1. Never outshine the master. The first law of power warns against the dangers of appearing too perfect or competent, especially in the presence of a superior. History is ripe with examples, but perhaps none as vivid as the relationship between King Louis XIV of France and his finance minister, Nicolas Fouquet. Fouquet, ambitious and talented, threw a lavish party at his chateau, which far outshone any festivity the king had ever organized. Louis XIV, feeling overshadowed and threatened, interpreted Fouquet's grandeur as a display of hubris and a challenge to his authority. Shortly after, Fouquet was arrested and imprisoned for life. This incident underscores the peril of outshining those in higher positions, a misstep that can lead to one's downfall rather than advancement. The lesson here is subtle, yet profound. While competence is valuable, displaying it with tact and sensitivity to the context and the egos around you is crucial. It's about managing perceptions just as much as displaying skill. This law teaches us the importance of strategic humility, especially when dealing with superiors or those in positions of power. Section 3. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This law taps into the unpredictable nature of friendships and the strategic value of enemies. A striking example can be found in the rise of Julius Caesar. Caesar, in his ascent to power, formed an alliance known as the First Triumvirate with Pompey and Crassus, two of Rome's most influential figures. However, as history shows, alliances with friends can be fragile and temporary. As Caesar's power grew, so did the envy and distrust among his allies. Eventually, the alliance crumbled, leading to a civil war. In contrast, Caesar notably appointed his former enemies to high positions once he consolidated power, recognizing their loyalty, born from the debt they owed him for their forgiveness and the practicality of keeping former adversaries close, where he could watch them. The wisdom of this law lies in recognizing that friends, often blinded by emotion, may not always act in your best interest. Enemies, on the other hand, are motivated by their return to favor, which can be strategically beneficial. This law teaches the art of pragmatic interpersonal dealings, valuing loyalty over friendship, and the utility of forgiveness as a tool of power. Section 4. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. The third law advises keeping one's strategies mysterious to prevent others from interfering or sabotaging them. Queen Elizabeth I of England masterfully applied this law during her reign. Known for her ambiguous statements and indecisive promises, especially regarding marriage negotiations, she kept her suitors and political adversaries perpetually off balance. Her refusal to clarify her intentions kept Spain and France, the superpowers of the time, in a constant state of uncertainty. They were cautious in their actions, as they could not predict her moves. Elizabeth's ability to conceal her intentions allowed her to maintain a balance of power in Europe, which was crucial for England's survival and prosperity during her reign. This law underscores the power of mystery and the strategic advantage it can confer in both personal and political dealings. By keeping one's cards close to the chest, one can control the narrative and the pace of events, leading opponents into a game of guesswork where you hold the upper hand. It's a powerful reminder of the strength that resides in secrecy and the deliberate withholding of information. When words are many, mistakes are not far behind. This law is epitomized by the Spartan way of communication, famously laconic, and thus named laconic phrases. Spartans believed that the fewer words one uses, the less likely they are to say something foolish or something that can be used against them. A classic example is when Philip II of Macedon sent a message to Sparta saying, "If I enter Laconia, I will raze Sparta to the ground." The Spartans replied with a single word, "If." This concise response showcased not only their bravery, but also their strategic use of minimal communication to convey firm resistance and unshakable confidence. It left Philip II pondering the implications, ultimately deciding against invasion. This demonstrates how powerful and intimidating a few well-chosen words can be, especially when they leave room for the listener to fill in the blanks with their fears and imaginations. In today's world of incessant communication and information overload, this law teaches the value of brevity and the impact of carefully chosen words. It is a reminder that sometimes saying less can indeed mean more, allowing one to maintain control over their words and the effects they engender. This approach not only prevents misinterpretation, but also enhances the weight of the words spoken. Section 6. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is a cornerstone of power. During the Italian Renaissance, Niccolò Machiavelli, a statesman and philosopher, understood this profoundly. His reputation as a cunning and strategic thinker was encapsulated in his seminal work, The Prince, which advises rulers on power tactics. Although controversial, his reputation has endured as a symbol of political maneuvering and realpolitik. Machiavelli's emphasis on maintaining a strong, feared reputation has influenced countless leaders throughout history. For instance, his teachings inspired Cesare Borgia to establish a reputation for ruthlessness that kept his enemies at bay and his subjects in line. Borgia's rule, though short-lived, demonstrated how a well-managed reputation could secure a leader's power more effectively than any standing army. The lesson here extends beyond the corridors of power into everyday life. In the modern professional world, reputation can determine career trajectories, social standing, and personal influence. This law emphasizes the need to cultivate and protect one's public image meticulously, as it is an asset that, once tarnished, can be exceedingly difficult to restore. The strategic management of one's reputation is not just about vanity, but about safeguarding one's position and influence. Section 7. Conclusion. The timelessness of power. As we have explored the 48 laws of power through various historical lenses, it becomes evident that these principles are not just relics of the past, but are vibrantly relevant in today's world. The dynamics of power, whether in the courts of ancient empires or the boardrooms of modern corporations, follow similar patterns. Understanding these laws can provide strategic advantages in navigating complex social and professional landscapes. The laws of power, with their roots deep in human psychology and social strategy, are timeless. They transcend cultural and temporal boundaries, offering insights that are as applicable in personal relationships as they are in high-stakes politics. This universality is what makes the 48 Laws of Power a compelling study for anyone interested in influence, leadership, and control. In conclusion, the study of power is essentially the study of human nature. As long as humans interact, the laws of power will govern their dynamics. By mastering these laws, one can not only aspire to attain power, but also understand the forces that shape our world. It's a game of chess on a global scale, and knowing the rules can be the difference between being a pawn and becoming a master.